Greetings and salutations, I am the Raven, and welcome back to the latest session of the Bastard Smalls. I forgot to look up the session number again.
Such is life.
No matter, this session maybe a collection of smaller sessions. Who knows? We'll see how this goes. Joining me per usual is one Sherrod,
She throws sleep well at your service.
one Omnibus, played by Yeozwah,
Hello.
some dodgy geezer going by the hand of the cynical DM. Let's ignore him. Moving up is JKLantern with whoever he's playing.
I'm Cyrano Ducorbo. I'm a man trying to get by.
Okay, by what?
Everything.
Oh, we got bad news for you there. And finally, but definitely not least, StarprincessHLC.
Hello, Yuki here.
And for some reason, the Sound Princess was having for breakfast has disappeared.
Well,
Now, this case for the more those who are paying attention, going, yes, we didn't have a session last month. Things happened, or rather didn't happen. But to cover events, something happened when the party was on New Chester. Joining them there for a local celebration. They never really reached it, or they did, but they fell under a spell of a cursed idol and entered the domain of a dream holder. What's a dream holder? Henna's Guide to Monster Hunting. Check it out.
I feel like I remember this being my fault.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I definitely grabbed that idol thing without checking it or what it did.
Well, you blew it up.
Yeah, I did.
But it's more a case of your doubleganger at the time was creating what appeared with snow and a sample of your feathers.
Correct, yes, now I remember.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. How the consequences of my action come back to haunt me. How long this is going to last. How much I
not
am
more
going
than...
to dread.
It can't be more than 6 seconds or else copyright might get you.
You
I thought it was 20.
You assume I sing that well.
I don't know. Copyright can be very strict.
I haven't been hit so far, so who cares?
Huh.
Well, not in these sessions anyway. So yes, we open on the next day. You still had that little farming village, little farming settlement. The market area with all its stalls has still got its little celebration bits and pieces of the bunting, any leftover food, some new stuff has been set out. But it's very much the feeling of any sort of celebration really disappeared after you broke out of the Dreamholder's spell. Lady Giggy has not been seen since yesterday. Jeeves, her hobgoblin butler, has stuck around to keep an eye on things. Occasionally jabbing ominous in the ribs as he passes by, or maybe got the party some drinks. His order for omelette is never right.
I'll just take something out of my jug of alchemy that I have.
You know you have that and you've unleashed chaos with it. Yes, I'm concerned.
Indeed.
Now the
There are so many things I forgot I had.
Now the question is, how well did everyone sleep, if at all?
I doubt any of us actually slept.
Let's all make a constitution save and see how we did.
You can do it by choice. I can do it by constitution save. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll go for the Constitution save. Why not? It's not like
That's-
anything could possibly go wrong.
That's a 10.
You've been
9.
That's a
23.
26.
and for guest of honor.
23.
Yeah, no, disgusted that you rolled so high. So for Anonymous and Cyrano, you slept like a log. If anything, people complain about your snoring. For Yuki and Shiflos, however, you've been in and out, but the odd creak. You're still seeing eyes in the moment you close yours. You can't sleep lest the fear of the horrors that accompany the dream holder and the dream holder itself still haunts your recent memories.
So it's like Shifros's first couple of weeks after getting sucked down the beer hole the first time.
It has been a while since we sucked down a beer hole.
I mean, if he wants beer, I can make 4 gallons of it.
See, it's not the act of having the beer. It's the act of being near a drinking vessel with beer in it.
Fair enough.
Still, in the light of this, you're being put up at a local inn. You're taken care of. But it's still a case, you're still paying for the services. You have discovered in recent times a case of Newchester doesn't operate on a money-based system internally. For outsiders, yes you do. It's a case of Newchester is very independent. It doesn't really need money to keep going about for what it does. For the outside resources, it does need to really add more to it. Yes, it needs the money to deal with these outside sources. But it's a case of, yeah. You're finding out that the wealth of Newchester is in its products. And for it to get out there, you actually need some hard DOS, which it really isn't generated internally. Now, how much down that message up with stars? Early session by the seaside? I have no idea.
I don't think there was ever a point where currency came up, actually, in my session.
And I'm still broke as shit.
Now, whose fault is that?
The people I scammed.
Oh, no, at all. Where even the family members are telling you to save your fucking money.
What? No.
So?
But Mom, I needed that beak polish.
Well, Mama's there. I thought we'd gone whole Spaceballs rules and you're the beak surgery.
Oh darn.
But Mom, the other carver man making fun of my funny beard, funny beak.
If you don't pay back your money, we'll give you back your whole beak.
No.
Yeah. Update on the debt tracker. I am still 67,000 gold in debt.
Yeah, that could go up, that could go down. It's else. But
There's always interest.
Mm.
oh
There's
yeah.
always interest.
So yeah, new day starts. For two you have not slept well. For the other two, you've annoyed them with your snoring. What you going to do?
Shifrost during the night, during one of the times he almost gets to sleep, but then one of those two has an especially loud snore that snaps him out of it. Is going to go get some warm water and stick both of their hands in it.
I have yet to see that trick actually work in real life.
I don't think it actually does, but you know.
Mm.
So, Omus and Cyrano, roll me a con save.
25.
I heard a 25. What was the other one?
26.
You had a dream about being in the rain.
I'm singing in the rain.
But was there pina coladas?
Actually, I had a pina colada yesterday. It was pretty good.
You can hear people moving around. You can hear the staff of the inn just going about doing their business. The heavy foots of the landlord as he just about goes his round doing his inspections. And you can hear the very orderly, light steps of Jeeves as he apparently is accompanying the landlord, apparently discussing something. His tone is calm, professional. Even the landlord, he seems to be rather chill about things.
Yuki's already up anyway. She's gonna try and eavesdrop.
They're just going to be talking about general supplies. Then going to need and make another trade with one of the local trade of their local grains for some more meat from one of the local settlements a few miles away. You can basically hear just Jeeves scribbling away, making his notes. He'll make sure all the arrangements are met for. We also noticed that they should have enough of a fairly decent breakfast of basically eggs, bacon, beans, followed with some pancakes of either honey, syrup, or whatever else they can find to add to them.
Yuki may be drooling a little at that.
Hell, I'm drooling at that.
Also noting, since two of us were included, Oki-san has been banned from the inn because of disagreements with the landlord about the definition of pudding. Because at the time he was serving black pudding.
Yeah, no, Okasan would not be about that.
So he basically was told piss off, and he's probably now resting up in one of the bars on the outside of town.
I like to think Francine is actually with him to make sure he doesn't get into too much trouble, since she was wrong with the trip too.
This is no pudding fit for a man.
She was also given the instruction to make sure he doesn't convert any more to the cult of Lord Puddy.
Let's see. Is Francine smart enough to not to actually go through with this? That was a 12. But
She isn't really understanding, but she is doing it.
okay.
She's also a case of she knows enough not to be indoctrinated. Because that is the bottom of Oka-san. So, yeah. The upstairs is begins to be filled with the smell of cooked bacon, the sizzle of eggs, even the sizzle of pancakes being flipped.
Yuki is first in line to get pancakes and bacon.
I imagine the moment she could smell it, let alone hear it, was zoom. So yeah, you in line. You got your tray and plates, and you punch out what you want. You got a big stack of pancakes, bacon. They've offered up the choice of syrup, honey, for some reason mint.
But is there chocolate syrup?
No.
Okay. Maple syrup it is then. And butter.
You get those.
Yum, 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 yum.
Is there anything else Tiffos is going to do?
Well, after pulling the covers over his head a few times and still failing to get to sleep, he's just going to go get some coffee.
You go get a coffee. You see the folks gathered around. You see Yuki with a giant pile of pancakes, coffee, syrup, and butter.
I wouldn't have expected anything else there. Look around for anybody else who looks like they had a really, really rough night.
That's pretty much everyone.
Some people have 2 cups of coffee.
You recognise the older dwarven woman that's in the dream mistaken Omnibus for her grandson. There's a few other folks. We just recognize the dream. They're just out of it. You also notice on Yuki's desk, jammed in between the planks that make up the tabletop, a playing card.
Uh-oh.
That is not a good sign. Yuki, did you put this here?
Dar what?
Kind of points to the playing card that's kind of sticking out of the table.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
I was afraid of this. You know, I could go wake the 2 sleepies up. I could. This is something I could do.
You absolutely could.
I don't really want to because I'm mad at them right now.
That happens. Should we try pulling the card out?
If it's all the same to you, I don't really want to touch it yet.
Okay.
I'd rather make one of those two pull it out.
It might be from Omnius's deck, so maybe he should pull it.
It doesn't quite look like a card you'd get from Omnius's deck, though.
Hmm.
This looks like more generic deck of 52 playing cards. I could be wrong, though. Well, generally, if you pull one of Omnius's cards out, it goes away.
Hmm. Well, I could try waking them up and see what they say.
If you must. I wouldn't rush through dinner. I would not rush through. Oh, you're done with breakfast. That was fast.
I still have to get second breakfast.
Yeah, figures.
Yuki makes hobbits underfed.
Here, you can have my coffee. I don't know why I grabbed this. I'm tired, but I'm not that tired.
It's also not that
Thank you.
there are a few halflings out and about the inn's canteen area, whatever the blood thing's called, obviously. It's because they took one look at Yuki's breakfast and her eating it, and it was challenge accepted. They're currently rolling round town is going, it seems like a good idea at the time.
The pride falls.
Any of your relatives?
If they are, I don't recognize them.
That's fair.
They just did not understand what they were getting into.
They never do. I've won many food eating competitions and have yet to be beaten.
I've noticed. You remember who does the cooking at the place you normally eat?
I feel I've slowed down since learning more about my past, at least.
If you measure that, yes, you have slowed down since then. But it is still category 4 hurricane compared to normal person. You just out ate, by my count, a half dozen halflings. Combined, from what I saw.
I used to be able to do 2 dozen.
Yes, but this was not chicken.
Yeah, true. That one's a bit more of a motivation.
Out and about, you see the serving staff coming and going, collecting plates, being refreshers for the coffee, sometimes just water and sometimes refills. The one that's been serving Yuki so far approaches rarely. What did it miss? Care for more?
Maybe later. Right now, I got a boyfriend to wake up. Be right back. As she heads towards the room.
While she's gone, Shifrost is going to lean down and look at that playing card more closely.
You can see it's the Jack of Clubs.
Of course it is, Jack. That is only suit it could be.
And of course, especially you're seeing some impossibly neat handwriting. Can't speak now, but later.
Oh, that's a bad roll. Shifrost, I failed a Constitution save. Shifrost lets out an audible whimper at reading that.
Is at this point, since the door opens and you are greeted by a sight you did not want to see, it's the Cranky Raven Man from the guild. You've always known he's a bit of a night owl, or the mere fact of you have no idea how his sleep pattern operates. But
Wait, he sleeps?
sometimes.
Like at all?
But he's here. He's dressed in his usual dark robes, glancing over everything with his milky pupilless eyes. Then fixes them on you, Chifos, and his eyes narrow, giving you a look as best he can, being a bird. That pretty much says, I knew this had something to do with you.
And Shifrost just gives him a quizzical look in return.
We skip to Yuki.
Okay. So she enters the room where the guys are still sleeping.
Hands still in the ball of hot water.
First, she's gonna try calling out to them, being like, "Guys, time to wake up."
Honk shoe, snork me.
Oh, okay, they are heavy sleepers today. Well, pulls out the bagpipes, wets her whistle, and blows.
Give us a performance roll, please.
Okay. Do. 14.
You may take our lives, but you'll never take our freedom!
Even better, think about the way bagpipes actually work.
Mm.
She pulled him out and just stared down the two of them while she inflated the bag.
It's, well, the entire didn't hear the racket. Just the top floor.
Omnius
Did
opens.
the
Omnius opens a single eye, just like.
Did the sound get out all the way to the dining car?
Just the top floor.
So not where Shifrost is?
You hear something, but you don't know what it is.
This definitely isn't the first time that they've been woken up with bagpipes, is it?
No,
No.
it is not.
There
There
What?
has
Omnius
been tuba accompaniment every now and then.
Yeah, Omnius just opens a single eye and be like,
Why is my hand wet?
Chef Ross was pulling a prank on you for snoring so loud.
It seems like a fairly mediocre prank, just getting my hand slightly damp. What? Who does this benefit? Like it does. Is he trying to give my fingers a slight case of the fungus? I don't understand how this was supposed to work.
Maybe he thought your fingernails were dirty.
I don't have fingernails.
Maybe he thought your claws were dirty.
Maybe.
Either way, time to get up.
Do we have to?
Considering that a mysterious playing card showed up under the table that I was eating at, yeah, probably.
By the way, the idol and your feather on this, did you collect them?
The fact that you're asking me is making me say yes.
Okie dokie, that makes things easier. So,
Well, I guess I'll see if there's any corned beef hash left.
There's plenty of pancakes. I may have beaten half a dozen or a dozen. I beat a lot of halflings at eating pancakes.
Well, yeah. Halflings can't put away food for shit. Of course you had ate them. You're the champ. The champ!
I've been slacking over the years.
suddenly the half a dozen halflings still in the inn are suddenly feeling very vindictive. But go on.
Okay. But yes, let's come on, everybody out.
Breakfast time for corned beef hash.
Maybe with some fruit.
Maybe with some fruit.
There's no
It prevents scurvy.
There's no corned beef hash.
Well, this is disappointing.
There's pancakes. There's eggs. There's bacon. There's things to put on your pancakes. There's coffee brewed so black it will suck your face in when you drink it. I can add sugar or milk. You also see Crunky Ravenman is there. Now sitting at the table where Chifos is.
Hey, when did he get here?
I have no idea, but he just walked in a little bit ago
Ah,
and has decided to sit by me.
Cranky just
hello.
looks at each of you in turn. Guild got a message. Something went down here. What happened?
There was a dream
Question
holder.
is, how much do we actually know as what happened?
You had a dream. There's some kind of beholder type entity you encountered. It had the citizens of these citizen villagers within its grasp that apparently was feeding off somehow. And somehow it was able to put Lady Kiki and Francine to sleep. Even to a point to a deeper sleep where even in the dream they weren't lucid.
I mean, I remember this session. It's just how much would our characters actually recognize exactly what was going on?
No one knows in this world what a bleeding dream holder is.
Okay.
Most people even don't know what a beholder is. They've never seen one.
Hmm.
We've seen miniature versions.
Yeah, you see the spectator.
Yeah. Hmm.
So, as far as you know, you've seen some kind of dream residing beholder.
We ended up in some kind of weird dream sequence, and somehow it affected Lady Kiki.
I had to blow myself up.
Sounds delightful. Anything else?
Has anyone seen Lady Kiki?
Not for a while.
We don't know where she is.
Jeeves has been running around, but we haven't seen anything of her in a while.
And at least we saw her in whatever it was we were stuck in. What message did Guild get exactly?
People asleep. Invited party asleep. Ladyship asleep. Need assistance. I had to break out the powerful magic to get here. It's gonna be a long journey home, so let's at least make this worthwhile. Tell me everything. His gaze focuses anonymous. Leave no detail unturned.
I'm sensing that it wouldn't be a good idea to lie to the cranky Raven Man.
Probably not.
So Agnes is going to tell him everything that he remembers.
And you still have these little knickknacks from your doppelganger?
Agnes reaches into his bag of holding and pulls them out.
On the table, please.
Puts them on the table.
He first picks up the pepper, waves his fingers around it, seems to give off a glow. It's at this time the angry satchel that Yuki carries just bursts into life, and a big wadded envelope erupts from it, launched into the air, and then you catch it in your hands. It comes down, and is basically addressed to Onimus.
Oh
It's
no.
for you. Hands it to him.
You recognise your mother's handwriting.
Oh no. Nothing about what's about to happen is going to be fun. Alright. Hit him with your best shot.
Okay, you open it up and you find... Well, you find a written letter from your mother with a few other bits and pieces including there from the news sheets, particular stories that have been cut out and applied to bits of card. And when you read it, it's your mother voicing concern about your activities. That you're not doing anything that you shouldn't.
Define things I shouldn't.
Well, the bits and pieces of the news sheets that we covered out are covered from aggravated robbery, bank robbery, con jobs, not even good con jobs. You're basically stealing money from people with glass beads. And it's a case of the dates are basically amounting to basically you've been, if it's to be believed, and what these news sheets are reporting is someone matching your description has been operating in 3 different areas.
At the same time?
No, it seems like they've been operating in cahoots with one another, possibly. Or is it a case of someone has been doing a lot of travelling
Hmm.
and they've not been too discreet with their identity.
Nothing about this is good.
You also, another envelope suddenly just shoots out from the analyst's satchel and just floats into your hand.
I guess I'll open this one too.
The handwriting you don't recognise, but the message is very clear. If you have access to more funds than you've been reporting and not been paying your debts, maybe we should pay a visit to your mother. Signed, the Decobos.
Omnius makes a noise that just kind of sounds like a groan, and just kind of hands the letter to Sai.
Boy, can you be quiet? I am working here. So what does Cyrano have to say?
Yeah, that's about on brand.
Kitty.
There is now a small cat now running among your feet under the desk.
Pet the kitty, pet the kitty.
And when you're not looking, there's still a pancake.
My
Yes, the
pancake.
cookie.
Omnius is not having a good day.
This is why self-control is an important thing, especially when you're around my family.
In my defense, how was I supposed to know that it was your family?
You, before you knew they were my family, you knew they were terrible, terrible people.
This is true. However, if I'd known they were your family, I would have gone to a different crime family.
You'd still have the same problem, just with different names on it.
Omnius thinks about this for a moment. This is his +1 wisdom coming into play.
Huh.
He is intelligent. He is not wise.
Cranky just stares at the pair of you because he basically knows the pair of you are idiots.
I'll
Yeah.
have you know that Sai has an intelligence of 19.
And Omnius has an intelligence of 20.
And still the pair of you carry on like idiots.
Yes.
At least one of you can blame on the alcohol.
Omnius can't drink because he's a bird. Alcohol kills birds.
Tell me, boy, have you been playing with the spell of simulacrum?
Similar what now?
Simulacrum.
I think
It's a
I think that would be a no.
I am explaining here to explain to the bird brain. It is a spell that produces a clone of the target when all you need is a part of the original. So tell me, for what in the conversation I just overheard, have you been playing with magic above your station in a bid to clear your debts quicker?
No, sir.
He then just drops the feather onto the table. Then reaches for the charred bits of the idol. He just pulls back suddenly as he gets a charge from it. You said your double ganger was holding on to this idol. Did you not?
Yes, sir.
This is old magic, older than we understand. And from what you told me, your warforce was rendered asleep. He then reaches and picks up a bit of the hair. I can only assume this is hair came from her ladyship herself. Either to target her or to empower the spell. Be she an elf or something else, she shouldn't be able to be rendered asleep by magic. So this is something predating a lot of what we know. Now, is there anything else you need to tell me?
I don't think so.
It's at this time he's put a little notebook and just making down notes. I see. Well, until I can get an airship back to the guilds, I'll be finding another inn to stay at. I would say stay out of trouble, but we know this is impossible.
You know that's fair.
Yeah.
Yes, at this point, Cranky just gathers up the little items, gathered out and makes them disappear into his old bag of holding that disappears into his robes. He doesn't really just say goodbye, he just gets up and just leaves the inn.
What a charming individual.
And admittedly for you, Chifos, that was the most courteous encounter you've ever had with the Cranky Raven Man.
Yeah, nothing was thrown at anyone.
You still would recall the times when he was making long distance fireballs attempts on Okusan.
And Chifros.
Your beard was uneven for like a month.
Yeah, I usually could use magic to straighten it out, but he hit me with something that prevented me from fixing it.
At least it grew back.
He made it take long time, though.
Yeah.
We got through when I found the spell that kept his feathers ruffled. No one could see it, but we knew it was agitating him.
the bird is permanently agitated.
More so than usual. Imagine feeling goosebumps 24/7.
God damn.
That's a spell.
So, I think this is a good time to bring this part of the session to a close. So, what comes next, we'll find out. So, catch you next time, folks.
Later.
Take care, everyone.
I am.
See ya.